We're going live here today to talk about week 3. So week 3, we were covering data quality patterns with Apache Airflow and data quality patterns like WAP, as well as spec building, how to build a gold spec like you do with Airbnb's Midas process. And we also talked a lot about Apache Spark. It was a really good time. I definitely found it to be really awesome. So I'm here for about an hour to do a Q&A about the free bootcamp, as well as answer any questions about week 4 and the paid bootcamp or anything else that you want. Hey, EK, nice to see you. First chat, you're in. Let's go. Welcome everyone. Freaking, this is a beautiful Friday the 13th, right? It's a spooky day. Ooga ooga, right? It should be a good time. Here, guys, give me 1 second. All right. Yeah. So I'm doing any Q&A that y'all might have about data engineering, week 3, week 4. So week 3, we covered Spark and data quality patterns and how to build a good spec. Week 4 is going to be on Apache Flink, real-time data processing. We're going to be using PyFlink and Docker. So the Docker setup is a freaking nightmare. And then the other big thing that we're going to be doing is analytical patterns. We're going to be covering growth accounting, J-curves, retention, all that kind of stuff. It should be a really good time. Thanks, Andre. Thanks for saying I got a nice haircut. It's been controversial. Some women are like, you got rid of the long hair. And I'm like, no, I got rid of the stupid mushroom look, right? So I don't know. I feel pretty good about it. So yeah. So hi, honestly, I have exams and I can't join much. The bootcamp, will you delete the videos from YouTube? And really appreciate what you were doing. You have till the end of January. So I don't think you probably have exams right now, but you probably don't have exams next week. And then you probably don't have exams the first couple weeks of January. So you should have time to cover most of the material. January 31st is the last day of the bootcamp. So make sure that you go through the material in the meantime, because that's going to be a very important thing for y'all to get through the material and to get more jobs, right? I mean, that's kind of the perspective I'm trying to do here, is like get as many people jobs as I possibly can, and that's going to be a really powerful thing, you know. But yeah, you got plenty of time. Got like 6 weeks, right? And you'll have an extra month after everything is published to go through the rest of the content. So it should be good. Flink has been a freaking bear and a half. I've been trying to get Flink up and running because it's like freaking like there's something weird about the I'm on the Apple Silica. So like when I did this boot camp, I was not on Apple Silica. I was on freaking Intel. And I bet it works on Intel Silica just like right out of the bat. But like there's something really strange with Apple Silica here that is not going. All right. So Zach, Prachi saying, hi, Zach. I'm loving the bootcamp so far. I learned a lot. I'm a manager of software engineering, but love the learning for my own development. Yeah. I mean, wherever you're at, I mean, things are just going to get more data focused and more analytics and machine learning focused, right? Because it's like if you are a software company and you're not integrating with AI or integrating with machine learning, you're falling behind, right? Because you need to have that personalization. Like users are just expecting a lot more, right? They're just expecting a lot more from their software products. And in order to stay competitive, you need to be data literate, right? And just because if you're just a full stack engineer or backend engineer, it's fine, right? My progress not being updated on dashboard. I bet it's just the last class on it. I bet most of them are being updated. If it's not fully updated, it's fine. If you get 70 or 80%, I'll count it. The time tracking is not perfect, right? You got to understand this is a beta test. It's a beta test, and I'm trying my best because I'm also trying to enjoy the holidays, and I'm giving as much of an effort as I can without going insane, right? And that's going to be great. Oh, I'm literally an accountant just doing the bootcamp to learn more. That's amazing. That's great. I mean, just like if you can get more skills there, that's good. Because accountant is there's going to be some stuff in accountant that's going to be like AI is going to take a lot of those, right? Accountant is going to be a little bit more managed out by AI. So upskilling is a smart idea. I have questions not about bootcamp, but please say your opinion on Microsoft Fabric. I don't talk about that. I just don't have an opinion. I just don't care. It's like Why does it matter what my opinion on Microsoft Fabric is? You're going to be like, oh, some random data engineering influencer says Microsoft Fabric is great or Microsoft Fabric isn't great. So now I have to change my entire career planning because of one guy's opinion. Like, if that's how you are taking your views on stuff, like, you should be getting a lot of different opinions on a lot of different voices, not just my voice in all this stuff, right? And so that's my perspective on any technology. If you ask me about my opinion on any technology, I'm going to say that, right? Because that's how it is, right? You should be aware of like what is necessary in the environment, and that is how it works. Evgeny, thanks for sharing your bootcamp videos. I'm trying to apply your incremental SCD in production literally right now, watching the stream at parallel. That's amazing, dude. I'm glad that you're getting that incremental SCD. That's like, dude, that's like such a beast. It's such a bear and a half to get that right, you know? But then when you get it, you're like, oh my God, this is the most optimized dimensional freaking pipeline I can ever create. It's freaking cool. Yeah. Something exciting you want to share from reInvent? I mostly partied at reInvent. I didn't go to any talks. I didn't go to any announcements. That's nothing that, Amit has the one announcement that matters, which is how S3 table buckets going to change the data engineering landscape. It's not going to change it very much. It's honestly not going to change it very much because all that is metadata, right? So if you think about it from another perspective, it's like data engineers moved from we were using like Hadoop and ORC formats, and now it's like more like S3 and freaking Parquet, and we're just moving S3 and Parquet around. And all this S3 table buckets does, right, is it freaking makes it so that like we can have better metadata management like out of the box. That's great, right? Boone, Cybot, I can't make the Jan Bootcamp. When's the next one? I mean, I don't know, man. Like my perspective is next year is I'm going to be focusing on a lot of stuff. And like I might do one in the summer. I don't, you got to understand I have ADHD. So I plan about 3 months in advance. So the answer right now is maybe, right? That's like, will there be another one? Maybe, right? And if not, you can take it self-paced, right? You can take it self-paced, and you can always take it self-paced, right? Are you planning bootcamp for Azure-focused data engineering? I'm planning, no. I'm never, ever, ever in a million years going to do just Azure, ever, because that's a bad play. But I am thinking about doing a data engineering bootcamp that includes Azure, right? But not just Azure, because that's not a good idea. That's just not a good idea. Like, because I need to have one that is kind of fits all the clouds. So my perspective is I'm going to have a boot camp where I teach the fundamentals. Because I don't know if you know, but guess what? You know, if you're running distributed compute, guess what? It's pretty much the same. Whether you're using Snowflake, BigQuery, Redshift, Spark, or whatever other fucking technology you want to pick, it's all the same. It's all the same. It's literally all the same. And so like whether you're on Azure or freaking AWS or GCP, guess what? You're putting Parquet files on someone else's computer. That's literally what you're doing, right? So sorry if I missed the question. Will we have until January 31st to upload the assignments? Yes, correct. Bootcamp is insanely good. Awesome. Is there an option to gift something to you? I feel like a thief. I'm getting so much value for nothing. I mean, like get the paid bootcamp, dude. $150. That'd be amazing. Support my content. Like join the paid community. The paid community is even better. There's even more stuff going on there. A lot of energy there as well. So that would be my perspective if you want to give me a gift. In week 3, you said data engineer role is becoming more like software engineer, focusing on platform stuff. Can you explain that a bit more? Do you think DE will do less analytical work? No, it just that's like, this is where it's important to remember that like it's important to remember that like that is one type of data engineer, right? So this type of data engineer that focuses on platform stuff, this is going to be the type of data engineer that makes obscene money. This is the type of data engineer I was at Netflix and the type of data engineer that I was at Airbnb, where I was focusing on the pricing platform at Airbnb. And then at Netflix, I was focused on cybersecurity platform. And so like, but like that's where a lot of data engineering is going. But a lot of data engineering is also going towards analytics. That's why there's analytics engineering. That's where there's the whole modern data stack, Snowflake, DBT, Airflow, all that shit. Also very good. So like you want to be thinking about how you can move forward with this kind of stuff, because that is like they both work. So do you think DE will do less analytical work? That is not, you can't answer that question. That's an unanswerable question, because some DEs will do more and some DEs will do less. So it's hard to answer that question. And that's because data engineering is kind of splitting into two paths, right? That is my answer to this question. It's not like because what is needed from a data engineer at different companies is going to vary drastically depending on how mature the company is and what space you're in and how much you own. All of that stuff is very it can depend, right? Explain the split in week 3 of paid bootcamp, analytics and infra. So in week 3, 4, and 5 are going to be split. So you can do one or the other or both. But you can't do both live. That's the only thing, because they're going to be filmed at the exact same time. So how it works is week 3 is Snowflake and DBT. That's week 3 and 4 for analytics. And then on the infrastructure side, weeks 3 and 4 are going to be Spark and Databricks. It's going to be all about Spark and Databricks on weeks 3 and 4. And then week 5 is going to be analytical patterns for the analytics track. And for the infrastructure track, it's real-time pipelines with Flink. And so you can take all the content, half of the content, or whatever you want. Most engineers are going to gravitate towards one or the other. They either want to do Databricks in real time, or they want to do Snowflake and analytical patterns. Yeah, this is definitely something that I would say. What are the live timings for paid bootcamp? 6 to 8 p.m. Pacific. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. 6 p.m. Pacific. Starts January 7th is first class. January 7th, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. And then if you want to catch like the tech talks and stuff like that, those are usually going to be an hour before at like 5 p.m. Pacific. But those are not required. So I made a presentation about your at work about your data quality classes this Wednesday. Amazing, Alexia. I'm happy to hear that. I keep spreading the knowledge. Like I love seeing that when the student becomes the teacher. That is my favorite thing, because then I know that like my teaching is going further and further and further, and that is exactly the kind of energy that I'm trying to see here. So this is good. Kahil saying, I'm looking for only what's related to web scraping. Please, what is the most important things necessary to deal with the big data after scraping? Well, HTML parsing. Right? HTML parsing is going to be super important, right? If you're saying after scraping, so you already have the HTML, so then you're going to need to build something that can parse all the HTML and get all the data out of it, right? That's going to be the most important thing. Have you ever used Beautiful Soup? Beautiful Soup is probably going to be a very important thing for you. You mentioned once in one of your posts that you want data content creator level up their game in data engineering. I see some data engineering content creators post better content. What do you think? I mean, I think that things are moving, right? And that like I just want more data engineering content creators. I just think that there's not enough, right? Is degree have big impact on getting hired by big companies like Facebook and Airbnb? Yes. If you don't have a bachelor's degree, good luck. Just as a perspective in data engineering, in my entire time in big tech, on all of my teams, I worked with 0 people who didn't have a degree, at least a bachelor's degree. Right. Really, if you want to if you really want to like guarantee your chances or like really increase your chances, you should get a master's degree. Like, because 70% of my coworkers had a master's degree. Right. I was in the minority. Right. It was like 70% had a master's degree, 20% had a PhD, and 10% had a bachelor's degree, and 0% had no degree. So yeah. You got to understand, these companies are the most competitive companies in the entire world to get into, right? It's like less than 0.1% of people who apply get in. So it's like 1 in 1,000 get in. So it's like, if you don't have a degree, how are you going to differentiate yourself? Bro, are you living in Utah right now? Yep. Indeed, I am. 100%. Boone Cybot. Hi, Zach. I'm mid SQL and Python. I'm looking to make the DE switch. Will this bootcamp plus paid bootcamp be sufficient? It should be. If you already have that skill, you should. If you're already pretty decent at SQL and Python, like it's gonna get you close. It should get you pretty close. I mean, you might need to do a little bit more work on building a project and building more portfolio stuff, right? That's going to be something that is going to be very important. What do I need to study to become a DE that focuses more on SWE? Data structures and algorithms, freaking unit testing and integration testing. There was there's the one about like unit testing and integration testing PySpark jobs. Look at that. And then maybe go build an app. Go build a front end. Go build a back end. Go build a server. Go check out Spring Boot. Go check out Spring Boot. You'll freaking love Spring Boot specifically if you really want to get into it. Why do you prefer AWS over Azure? Because AWS is used by 55% of the United States. 55% of the United States. And guess what? In Northern Europe, Northern Europe is 2% of my customers. 2%. And 65% of my customers live in North America. So I'm going to go with what is used the majority in North America. So that's how it works. Like, sorry that like you guys don't get the preference there. You just live too far away. And like, will that change over time? I'm going to be adding Azure. I got a very strong signal that I need to add Azure. Not this bootcamp though, because I don't have enough time to also add Azure and Databricks this time around. That's a lot. That's a lot for me to add in one go, especially because I don't even know Azure. I've never used Azure even for 1 second in my entire career. I don't even have an Azure account. I don't even know shit about Azure. So like part of it is just like, what do I know, right? Because at Airbnb and Netflix, for those 4 years, I worked on AWS. Right? Because Netflix is AWS's biggest customer, their number one customer, right? Right. So definitely, what's your best advice for a master's college student? Build projects. Don't just do your classes. Build something cool. Build something that's interesting. Because that's what I did, right? I built an Android app that got 50,000 users, right? And that's gonna be that's what's happening, right? So GCP is coming. I think GCP will be there. Like, I think I might add GCP like narrowly at first. I think I might just teach BigQuery, right? And just talk about BigQuery at first and not like the whole damn freaking like GCP platform, because Azure and AWS are a lot more similar and GCP is more different. And so like, I feel like I can pick up Azure a lot quicker than I can pick up GCP. And so, but like BigQuery is very similar to Snowflake and Trino. Trino, BigQuery, Snowflake are like the same thing. They're all so similar. And so like, yeah, that's freaking the way to do it. Yeah. I don't even know shit about Azure. Thanks, Zach. We appreciate your honesty. Yeah, I don't have an account. Never even deployed a single job on Azure. So like, yeah, it's my life, right? Do you see junior data engineering positions growing in the future because of the shortage of senior data engineers? Yes and no, right? Does Meta use AWS or on-prem solutions? They don't use either. They're not on-prem or AWS. So, which is wild. They're not. Okay, here's the thing. Meta doesn't use AWS. They don't use GCP. They don't use Azure. And they don't use on-prem. They don't use any of those. They use Meta Cloud, right? They have their own cloud. I don't know if you know that, but Meta has their own cloud. They built their own warehouses. They have their own data centers, right? They even have one that's like, they have a data center that's like 2 blocks from where I live right now in Utah. They have one in South Jordan. So like, they don't use on-prem either though, but they have their own. Like I anticipate and I predict that in the next 5 to 10 years, Meta will enter the cloud market. They will compete with GCP and they will compete with Azure. Yeah, it's great. Yeah, are you aware of recent changes announced by AWS on S3? Yeah, that it supports Iceberg natively. I think it's great. I think that's a really good thing. I think that's something that we really need because now it's like we can, because before it was like you could just move files around on S3, but it was really hard to keep track of and really hard to like understand where things are going and where things are coming and like how things are changing, right? They're just files. It's a file system. And so like, yeah. I missed the 3 weeks. Can I still catch up? Yeah. Grind your face off. Like, yeah, well, you have a lot of content to get through, but yeah, 100%. There's, you have 3 weeks of homework and 4 homework assignments to get through, but yeah, you can do it. I believe in you. I think you can definitely do it. Like, I mean, like it's a lot of work, but I definitely think you can get there. Yeah, but like, I'm answering any questions that y'all might have. Please, will we still have access to the boot camps after? Yeah, until January 31st. I don't get why you can't just learn it now. All right. If I don't have a bachelor's degree, do you think it's worth going for a CS bachelor's or do self-study project certifications? It depends on you. I don't know. Like, what are your goals? Do you want to get a job at Meta? Do you want to get a job in big tech? Get a bachelor's degree. Do you want to be an entrepreneur? Then don't. Like, it's a waste of time. Right. I think that like it really depends. Like and also I think another very important thing to ask yourself is, can you do self-study? Because guess what? I don't know if you know, most people can't. Most people can't just teach themselves from the internet. They can't do it. They need the structure. They need the structure and the accountability necessary to actually learn. And that's something that you need to have a hard conversation with yourself about. Is that something? Are you someone who can actually teach themselves, or are you someone who needs that structure? Because that's going to be the other thing. It's like, one is, what are your goals? If your goals are to get to a place that doesn't require a bachelor's degree, don't get a bachelor's degree, right? If your goals are to get to a place that requires a bachelor's degree, get a bachelor's degree. It's that simple. Frederick says, just want to say congrats to the Cybertruck. Yeah, dude, the Cybertruck is crazy, dude. I've been loving it. I got beast mode. I paid the extra $20,000 for beast mode, and like, it's crazy. It's so fast. It's so insane. Like, it's like one of those things where I'm like, life is good. Life is very good. Honestly, as a guy trying to get a software job from a STEM undergrad, the full stack you have to know on top of DSA is a little too overwhelming. Okay, like I disagree. I think that like you got to remember it's a good paying job and you should be able to know a lot of stuff, and that like it's really how it works, right? Ooh, my company is a subcontractor for Meta's data center and they are growing it rapidly. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, dude. I'm telling you, Justin's a vibe. Justin's like one of my best friends. You should like sub to his channel. He has a channel. Being self-taught, I don't think people realize how difficult it is. I did physics in bachelor's and couldn't pull it off without a uni. Well, great. I mean, that's like, most people need the structure to learn. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's why like it's kind of a lie when people like Elon Musk are like, you know, you can learn anything you want for free on the internet. That is true, but it's not true for most people. Because the thing is like, if you just have like this open book, you have to have a certain amount of structure in place, right? And like, it'd be similar for me if I was trying to learn something non-tech related. Like if I was trying to learn like how to be a doctor or make drugs or something like that. Like, I feel like I would need to go through a course, right? And have a structure so that I could build up the necessary structure to then learn. Right. But for me now, it's like I've gotten enough structure in tech that if I want to learn something new, like LLM, like real time, or like freaking anything else that like I want to learn, like say I wanted to go learn Delta Lake, I know I could learn Delta Lake very, very, very easily. Right. And so like definitely like it's a good time. Hi, Zach. I'm currently in college in second year, and I would like to become a data engineer. I already use Jupyter Notebooks and analyze some data and use Pandas library. What do you advise? That's data science. That's so data science. Everything that you said is data science, not data engineer. You need to be working with infrastructure. You need to be working with things like Airflow. You need to be working with scheduled jobs. You need to be working with things like REST APIs. You need to be working with what else? Like data lakes. I'd say those are the big things. Work in the cloud. Just get an AWS account. Learn about Glue. I don't know. So that's probably my advice. Product engineer versus analytics engineer. What is easier? Analytics engineer by far. Product engineer, you're gonna have to like learn like front end and shit, right? I feel like you have to know like front end and experimentation. Like there's like a lot of nasty shit that you got to learn to be a product engineer. So like I would not advise a product engineer. I don't know. Product engineer is a weird one. Are you talking production engineer or are you talking product engineer? Those are different. So because if you're talking like SRE, that's like a completely different role, right? So I mean. But yeah, like I'm excited. This coming week, right, we're going to be talking about Flink, real-time, Kafka, analytical patterns, like growth accounting, J-curve retention. It's going to be freaking really awesome. Any book recommendations or courses for beginners? The fundamentals of data engineering. Just Google fundamentals of data engineering. Done. Does your degree related to CS? Yes, I have a bachelor's in applied math and a bachelor's in computer science. I have a double bachelor's in applied math and computer science. Are we at a point in time where companies are starting to phase out Scala for data engineering? No. It's like say here, it's complicated, right? Airbnb and Netflix are making new Scala pipelines. They're building new Scala pipelines. Most companies aren't Netflix and Airbnb though. Because the thing is like companies recognize if they have their pipelines in Scala, they are going to need to pay their data engineers significantly more. Right? They have to pay their data engineers 30 or 40% more. So they're like, we might as well put them in Python, make it easier to maintain. Right? So I reread all the announcements to minimize the chances of this being a stupid question. What is going on with week 4 with the free bootcamp? I see 3 new videos for data quality patterns and lessons, but no new homework. When I pull the data engineer handbook, am I missing something? Well, there's not a lab. There is the homework. I need to add a homework. Yeah, I'm sorry. Freaking. The problem is like the lab. There's a big fiasco with the lab because I can't publish the lab because it's not good content because I did the lab on. Okay, I'll explain what happened with the lab because I think a lot of y'all are depressed about that. There's no write, audit, publish lab because of the fact that that was done on Astronomer's Cloud IDE. That video was done on Astronomer's Cloud IDE, and they deprecated that. They deprecated the Cloud IDE. You can't use it anymore. So that video is literally impossible for people to follow along with because of the fact that Astronomer deprecated the Cloud IDE. So I didn't publish that video. I'm not making new content for this bootcamp because I'm trying to enjoy my holidays. So I'm not trying to freaking grind out freaking new content, right? I'm editing old content. That's how I'm doing this to not go insane because I'm already publishing a lot of content. And so I can push out a homework. I think we can push out a homework there that could work. I just need to I need to work with some people on getting that homework right. There is no homework published for that right now, for sure. Week 4 is not here yet. Data quality patterns is week 3. It's week 3, part 2, right? It's the analytics part of the bootcamp. Week 4 is going to be published tomorrow. We're going to be doing Flink and Kafka. It's going to be great. Can I still enroll for DE Jan bootcamp? Yeah, 100%. Hit me up on LinkedIn. I can get you a discount. I did some things in Jupyter Notebook and Simple Pipeline, and I'm trying to learn some Apache tools. I'm still in college. Please, what other tools should I learn? Spark, AWS, or GCP if I search a job at London? I have no idea. Like, people ask me these questions all the time. Like, I'm a master of knowing what every job market demands. Like, I'm one person. The job markets that I'm aware of are in America, right? Where, like, what I would suggest, Vincent, is learn AWS, come to San Francisco, make $600,000 a year with me, and then retire in London. Because the thing is like in London, the most you're gonna make in London is like 120,000 pounds, maybe that much. Like that's gonna be like the upper end of what you're gonna make in London. They don't pay the London engineers very well, like, but you can make 5 times that if you come to the Bay Area. And I the Bay Area is not that much, right? Can you please still publish Astronomer Lab just to get an idea? No. I'm not going to do that because it's bad content. Like, if people won't follow along, you got to understand that, like, the thing is then that's just bad content. It's bad content. And like, I don't want to publish content that I'm not going to publish labs that people cannot follow along. That's bad content. So that's how it works. Okay, understood. The week 3 part 2 is the part I was missing. Was asking for new content. Thankful for all the content you've shared. Just trying to be sure I'm not missing something and falling behind. Yeah, you're doing good, Jared. Doing good. I know it's chaotic. This ended up being way more effort than I thought it was going to be. I thought this was going to be way smoother than it has ended up being because I've had to move. The Flink stuff is a nightmare as well because like I moved all the Kafka. Kafka got moved from Heroku to Confluent. And like that broke the labs. So I'm trying to get the labs up and running again. And so we're getting close. Zach Zaddy, please advise on what things I can learn from now to get a job as soon as I graduate. Learn Airflow. Learn Snowflake. Snowflake, Airflow, DBT. I feel like that combo, those 3 are going to be the 3 that are the way to go. Why did you choose Flink for the bootcamp? Do you prefer Flink against Spark structured streaming for some reasons? Well, it's freaking a great freaking question, by the way. Like, this is a complicated question. So initially I did a poll back when I quit my job about to teach Spark structured streaming or Flink, like which one I should pick. And the poll was 52% voted Flink, 58% voted Spark structured streaming. It was a very close one. I just went with the poll there. If you want like the technical reasons behind it, is Flink is better than Spark structured streaming in the fact that it supports genuine pub sub. So like it actually does the pub sub pattern, whereas Spark streaming doesn't do pub sub. It just does very fast polling. So for example, you do Spark structured streaming is still micro batch. It's not pub sub. So like I like pub sub because it's genuine continuous processing. You get the data, you process the data right as it comes in. Whereas Spark structured streaming is like you process data every 5 seconds or you process data every 10 seconds. There's still a delay, right? And there is still a delay with continuous processing, right? It's just the delay of how long it takes the data to go from Kafka to Flink to wherever the sync is, like that, like path. But that's usually very, very short. That's usually like 1 or 2 seconds, right? It's a very short amount of time in order to like actually do that. So I would say that that's the reason. I actually moved away from Flink. In the paid bootcamp, we do Spark structured streaming. One of the main reasons we do Spark structured streaming in the paid bootcamp is because it's a lot easier to deploy, because Spark structured streaming and Glue are like this. It's very easy to deploy a Spark structured streaming job on Glue. It's actually super annoying to deploy a Flink job on Glue. So it's a little different. But like, yeah, but in this version of the bootcamp, I did pick Flink, but in future versions of the bootcamp, I did pick Spark structured streaming. So yeah, this is a great question, by the way. Like this question has tormented me, and I've thought about it a lot, right? I think behind the scenes, Spark structured streaming is still a batch and not actually real time. Correct. It's a micro batch. It's like very small batches, whereas Flink is genuine continuous processing. How can I learn all these tools like Apache, like Airflow or Flink? The bootcamp, like literally what we're doing right now. Like literally, like I don't know, man. Like obviously, for Airflow, I feel like my bootcamp is a little bit weak on Airflow. So go look at Mark Lamberti. Mark Lamberti has a really amazing. Check out Mark Lamberti's YouTube channel. He just talks about Airflow all the time. So with the AI run, would you say DE demands will grow exponentially as AI needs good data foundation? Should one transition into DE because of this AI run? That's not a half bad idea. I think that's definitely a good strategy for like where things are going to go. Because the thing is like a lot of people think that like AI is the thing that is driving the demand. But really, it's like companies still need analytics. Companies, you got to understand, most companies are still like on Excel and suffering. Right? They're still like super far behind. Like you're right. It's like, oh, if we can get everything automated with AI and have all this powerful, awesome stuff, that's great. But guess what? Like a lot of companies still need to walk before they run, right? I'm an experienced ML engineer with Cloud SQL and Python experience, and I got a high-paying remote data engineer job offer from Saudi Arabia. Should I accept the offer? Why not? I don't know. Like why not? Like I don't like these questions because like I would need, in order for me to know, like to give you an actual good yes or no answer here, you need to freaking I would need like 5 more paragraphs of context, right, to actually tell you if this is a good idea or not. But yeah, Zach, where can I find a data engineer roadmap? Go to here. I'll type it out for y'all. I have a. You guys need to join my newsletter, anyways. Y'all like, I give too much free value. So there you go. If you go to blog.dataengineer.io, just go there. The first article is a roadmap, right? Thoughts on DBT price increase? I use DBT Core. I think DBT price increase is not a good idea. I just use DBT Core. I'm not affiliated with DBT at all. I use their product. I use their open source product because I think it's a good open source product for what it does. It's battling though. I actually have been on the fence about moving from DBT Core to SQL Mesh. That's another one that I'm like teetering on. Right. All right. Let's see here. Awesome, Divya. You've reached out. I'll at the end of this live, I'll hit you up, Divya. I'm excited to have you join. Stylistically in Spark, do you prefer chaining option to option or do options? The second one, the option to option is like super annoying. It's just a lot of extra stuff, right? Yeah, so if you're looking for the roadmap or any other free data engineering content, I have a lot of really powerful freaking newsletter articles here. Also, if you're looking to support me, you can subscribe to this newsletter for $10 a month, and I would really, really appreciate it. That's a really great way to show your support for what I do here. And that's I don't really have a Patreon or anything else, so this is going to be the best way to show your support. You can also do it for $75 a year if you want to support a little bit more, and then also get all the newsletters for free. I guess for $75, not for free, but data engineer or cloud engineer, they're like, I don't know, man. Like those are in my opinion, those are mostly the same thing. It's like, okay, do you know AWS? Awesome. I'm going to take your free bootcamp. Seems really good. Thank you, Carlos. I really appreciate it. Like thoughts on ChatGPT Pro price? It's pricey. Companies need to have a lot of stuff like that. Like, dude, an experimental course with Mage and SQL Mesh would be great. It would be great. It's just, again, one of those things that, like, I don't know. I try to teach to the masses, and it's one of those things that people hate me for and love me for. Is it comes back to like, a lot of people ask me to do stuff on Scala. A lot of people have asked me to do stuff on Rust. A lot of people have asked me to do stuff on Mage, SQL Mesh, like things that are like on the edge. They're on the edge, right? And that's not it's not good business in a lot of ways, because like it's too niche. It's too niche. It's one of those things that like 1,000 people would love me, but that's not what I'm looking for, right? I'm looking to try to get as many people on board as I can. So, but like, this is one of those things where what I want to do is, and this is where everyone listening, I know that there's data engineering educators on this live right now who would want to build courses with me, who would want to do stuff like this free bootcamp with me and get your name out there and do collabs with me. And if you are interested in doing that, hit me up on LinkedIn and let's talk, because I'm trying to get more people involved. Because then guess what, Cortland? If I freaking have other people who are down to use their energy to teach this kind of stuff and I guide it, and I'm not the one who is grinding out all the content, then we can make a lot of content. We can make a lot of courses, right? Because then it's distributed and I can freaking scale up and I can get like a team, right? And that would be even better, because then I would be down to do this. It's just like my time is very valuable, right? How can I take your free bootcamp? Just go to here. I'll type that one out as well. 1 second. So if you go here, bootcamp.techcreator.io, that is going to be the time to go. What is the time? What is time for paid bootcamp? It starts on the 6th of January and goes till the 14th of February, and it is 6 to 8 p.m. Pacific. 6 to 8 p.m. Pacific. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So yeah. Zach, being pragmatic, many people might be old enough that a bad week in work of responsibilities or a personal bump and a week of work is gone. Would you consider giving a small extension? No. Like, you have an extra month to do the free boot camp. You have till the end of January. If you miss a week or you miss 2 weeks because you got sick or whatever, great. Otherwise, finish it. Like, you got to understand that's the whole idea, right? Would love to do a project up next, real-time project from huge Spotify data available online. A recommendation system on what song to play next. Maybe implement real-time data ingestions and lookup tables and all. That'd be awesome. That's an amazing, amazing idea. Hit me up on LinkedIn about it, and let's talk. I'm trying to get more people involved, and I think that'd be a fun thing. Like, because I also need newsletter collaborators. I'm trying to get more people to like write newsletter articles, because I need to like push some of the newsletter generation off to other people, because people are pissed because I haven't written a newsletter in like 2 weeks. And so like people are like, Zach, what are you going on? How are you commenting several lines in Data Grip and Jupyter Notebook using shortcut in Mac? Command / or / I don't know, command question mark, I guess is probably the better way. Command question mark. Would you consider providing paid services to help experienced data engineers to get into big tech companies? Like, the thing about this, right, is like this is like, it's a very interesting idea, right? And it comes back to like how I want to brand myself, right? So if I want to brand myself as like that guy, right? Because I could be like, I'm the ex Facebook, ex Netflix, ex Airbnb guy who will help you crack FANG, right? And I can be that guy, right? That asshole, right? And guess what? Do you know how many people do that? So many people do that. It's unbelievable how many people do that. And so like part of me like doesn't like that, but I also know, Chloe, that you would pay me $10,000. So it's like, maybe it's good business, right? So it's like, okay, but can I offer a guarantee? I cannot. So that's what I'm trying to say, right? How many weeks are missing from the free bootcamp? 3. Yeah, 3. You got to understand, like after week 2, every week has 2 parts after that. So week 2 is the first 2 weeks are data modeling, right? Then week 3 has 2 parts, right? It has Spark and data quality. And then week 4 has 2 parts. It has Flink and analytical patterns, right? And then week 5 is going to be what is it? Like data pipeline maintenance and experimentation, data pipeline maintenance and experimentation. And then week 6 is going to be data impact, like data communication and visualization. And what is it? It's because we have quality. I moved it around. I think that might be LLM. I might move that to be LLM, or that might be because I combined some things here, like because the infrastructure data quality week is got axed. So some of the content between V2 and V3 are what should I say here? The difference between V2 and or between V2 and this, right? The main differences between what I delivered last July, in July of 23, and now is like Astronomer deprecated their cloud IDE, so we lost that lecture. And then I actually did 2 lectures on that, so we lost 2 lectures there. So and then I combined the software engineering lecture that the freaking one on unit testing. That one got added to the Spark week because it's really related to Spark. So that whole second segment of the infrastructure track is just all combined into Spark now. So that one's gone. And then the second half, so the data quality week just is a mess. But every other thing, so that 6th week, I'll probably just add the bonus LLM material, and then you guys can go through that, and that can be another part of it. So Amina asked a question. How does this bootcamp differ from the previous paid one? Asking for a friend. Well, this bootcamp is very different. This bootcamp is all done locally, so nothing's done in the cloud. The V4, the May bootcamp delivered this year, was we use Spark streaming, we use Trino, we use Iceberg, all directly in the cloud. You can build your own data sets. You can answer all your stuff. So that's a big difference. It's not live. That's another big difference. Another big difference is what is another big difference is you have the mentorship and certification stuff. You can get certified here, but obviously the certification is just like a badge, right? It doesn't really earn you anything besides that. And so those are going to be the big differences. I'd say the number one big difference is cloud and deployment are going to be the big differences. And then also the content's better, right? Because like I redid all the content, and I became a much better lecturer, and I have better sound equipment. I have much better sound equipment. So like all the lectures are redone and better. And then the sound equipment's better, and the slides are better. I'd say those are going to be the main differences. How can I take your free bootcamp? Just Google free data engineering bootcamp, Zach. Just Google it, and it'll be the first hit. What skills do we need to start the free bootcamp? Python and SQL. Hey, Zach, I can't message you because I don't have LinkedIn Pro. Yes, you can. I have an open profile. Yes, you can message me. You can. Everyone can message me. You can message me right now for free. Try it, and you'll see. I think your next live bootcamp live collaboration should be database design. How a company like Spotify? No, boo. Because the thing is, guess what? There's so much tech blog content. So what you're saying is like I should just take tech blogs and talk about it. Don't make anything new. Just take tech blog content and vomit it back to you guys. Right? That's what you want me to do. Like, and so that's a thumbs down. Let's see here. Any advice for dealing with a data skeptic, stubborn CEO? I mean, that's tough. I mean, I had the same thing at Airbnb. Airbnb is like a design company, right? They're like they really are freaking not doing as much stuff there, and they really follow design principles more than they follow data principles. So I've been there as well. Like, and it's tricky. It's tricky where it's like they don't follow the data, where you're like you bust your entire ass, and then yeah. Let's see here. Is it possible to get an analytics engineering job right out of college? Why not? No, we can't message you on LinkedIn. Yes, you can. Try it. Just try it. You definitely can. I have an open profile. I have it set that way where anyone can message me. That is a setting that you can do if you pay for LinkedIn Premium. 100%. Let's see. Would love to collaborate with your content. Yeah. You got it. I don't even know who you are. It says LinkedIn user, so it's like freaking hard to see because you have your privacy settings are whack. See here, we have the what is the fee for the paid bootcamp, and is the free one? So the fees for the paid bootcamp is it's like $2,000. Yeah. See here. What's the one very common data engineering technology you hate the most? For me, it's Prometheus. I don't know. Like, there's a lot there. I think that, like, you know, like, there's a lot of queues out there. I feel like any of the queues that aren't Kafka are kind of super annoying. Like, I don't know if you ever worked with like SQS. I don't really have a good opinion of SQS or like any of like the Amazon queues, like SQS, SNS, freaking Kinesis. Those technologies I don't really like. Right. Okay. When will you delete videos from YouTube? January 31st. Wet ass pussy got me promoted. Thanks, Zach, for that icebreaker. Yeah, for sure. 100%. Like, I'm glad that like you busted out the wet ass pussy in the interview, right? Or like in your promotion conversation. It was like, dude, like I implemented some wet ass pipelines, and then they're like, get this guy up there. He belongs in leadership. Let's go. Right. I think that's the professional way to do it. Right. See here. Bro, are you interested in translating your free bootcamp to Spanish? YouTube does auto dubbing now, so I don't think we don't need it. Like, YouTube automatically does it, so I think we're good. I mean, I would like to do live cohorts in Spanish, like a LATAM dedicated one where it's like we have someone who like has a good accent and like teaches the content like for LATAM. I think that'd be cool. What are the benefits of the self-paced course? You get the highest quality, best version of all my content. You get access. You get an AWS key. You get an AWS key that you can use to launch Glue jobs. You get access to Trino. You get access to Snowflake. So Snowflake, Trino, AWS key, Glue jobs, Airflow. You get access to Airflow. You can launch Airflow jobs. So you can do all of the things that you want in the cloud for free. So you get access to the whole cloud platform, and that is would be the whole idea behind how this stuff would work, right? Zach, as a current college student, how can I practice on building ETL pipelines for live stream and batch? Well, they're different, right? I mean, live stream, like, so with live stream, go get a Confluent account. You can do a free trial, and then like play around with the Kafka consumer and producer APIs, and maybe launch a website. That's what I do, right? I mean, can I like add a screen? See if I can add a screen here. This is like entire screen. Oh, look at that. There we go. So now I have my entire screen, right? And so like, if we go into like, so this is my like freaking project. Well, let's go into like, what else is in here? It's like lib freaking Kafka producer. So in here, I have this like Kafka producer, right? And then so here's my producer, and what it does is like this is a producer that sends this key. You'll see this is just a stringified JSON though. All we're doing is like turning it into JSON, and then we send it to events prod, and bada bing, bada boom, and that's it. It's literally it. And then this is like, so this guy sits in the app, because if we go to like our page component, so in page, you'll see in page here, this is our page component. And then in here, there should be the route listener. Oh, wait, no, that's in, I bet it's in the app. I bet it's in freaking app. Then you have the freaking route. See this route change listener? So it's like command click into this guy. So you see in here, every time the path changes. So that's the same thing as like every time, if we go back to like, 1 second, we go back to like here and go like data expert. Oh, damn it. Come on. It's like hard to like, what the hell? That one does not even want to change. What the hell? It won't let me like tap through this. My screen won't work for some reason. Oh, well. Like, why are you still using JetBrains? Where is the sticker? I mean, I still use WebStorm. I'm just saying I don't teach it anymore, right? That's the main thing. I'm not going to do that. What's your opinion on Luigi Mangione? That guy rocked my world the last couple of days. Like, I feel like he's like freaking. It's interesting. It's interesting to see like how like it's impacted data engineering as a field, and like how like he's like he like shot that guy. I think like personally, it's like the fact he's a data engineer is just kind of like a fun fact. It's a fun fact. I mean, I definitely have made some jokes about it though, where it's like one too many Spark jobs failed, and that's what put him over the edge. And then he just broke. He burnt out and broke, and he just like he became murderous, right? But I don't know. That's a little bit dark. Some dark humor there, you know. It's like I don't know if that's necessarily like what's best for the world, right? But okay, I'm gonna hide this again so we can go back to myself. I'm going through the first couple of videos, and in the labs, it appears like you're demoing it for the first time. I like it because you're troubleshooting syntax in real time. Curious if this is intentional. It was live. I freaking did everything live. I don't freaking do, like all my content I film live, and that's what it is. So it's like we troubleshoot in real time. It's like I like the content to be raw and authentic of like, here, this is my attempt at it. Because it's like, if I do the content where it's like everything is flawless, the thing is all it does is give people imposter syndrome around like, wow, my shit doesn't work, so therefore I'm a bad engineer or whatever, right? And it's like, nah, man, that's not how it works. See here, can you provide a forecast insights for data engineering job opportunities for 2025? It's going to go up. I think rates are going to go down a little bit more. They're not going to go down that much. I think they're going to go down like 2%. And if they go down 2%, then jobs should definitely pop up more, and people will be able to borrow more money and be able to have more opportunities there. So I think that's definitely going to be a big thing. So yeah, it's going to be freaking crazy. Like I'm really excited to see like where all this stuff goes though. Like there's definitely there's a lot that's going to be happening over the next little bit. Like, let's see here. Yeah, Diogo says, just here to say thanks for the bootcamp. Bootcamp has been incredible and challenging at the same time. Amazing. I think get sign language. Sign language is an untapped market. Yeah, dude, that's freaking hard. It's like, because how do you sign and type at the same time? There you go. But you can have deaf data engineers. That makes sense. I think that's totally doable. Like, yeah, man. So I'm here for another like 5 minutes, y'all. So definitely ask away. Ask or forever hold your peace. Know that like the January bootcamp is going to be awesome. So in January, we're going to be doing 6 weeks. The first week is on an iceberg. We'll be covering all iceberg stuff like compression, time travel, schema management, all the cool shit that you can imagine in iceberg. You're going to learn all about it. Week 2 is airflow, how to build a good DAG, the things that are important about DAGs, and then how to deploy a DAG and how to troubleshoot it in production. Week 3 is where the bootcamp splits. So you can either pick analytics or infrastructure or both. On the analytics track for week 3 is Snowflake and basic DBT. Week 4 is advanced Snowflake and advanced DBT. Week 5 is analytical patterns, so that you can apply analytical patterns on top with DBT. And then the infrastructure track is week 3 is going to be basic Spark and understanding Databricks. And then week 4 is going to be advanced Databricks and Spark concepts. And then week 5 is going to be real-time processing with Flink. And that's going to be, I might Flink or Spark streaming, trying to decide between the two. I haven't completely nailed that down yet. It might be Spark streaming because Spark streaming is easier to do on Databricks. So that might be, so we can just keep the whole 3 weeks in Databricks. And then there's a bonus week at the end, week 6, which is not required, but you can check it out, is going to be on LLMs and how to build a graph database for LLM and how to reduce hallucinations with RAG and graph databases. So it should be pretty great. I think it's going to be one of those things that's going to be really, really awesome. You can join right now if you use the code. I'll put the code up there on the screen right now. So if you want to check it out, if you use code FREEBOOTCAMP at checkout, you can get 25% off. And I highly recommend checking out this bootcamp. There's not very many seats left. Like I opened up a couple more seats just because the demand was so high. But like we are trying to limit seats here. So definitely check it out if you want in, because we got a couple weeks here and it can change your life. You can have January and like really focus on 2025 being your year where you freaking get better, you get more technical, and all that stuff, right? Runic says, really appreciate all you do. Don't think I would have been able to get to where I am professionally if I had never found your content. That's amazing, Runic. I'm happy to hear that, right? Yo, Zach, I'll watch all of your content, but I have uni exams currently. Awesome. Glad to hear it, Donut. Like, I'm glad that you are getting through that. I'm sure your uni exams are almost over, so like you'll be able to grind it out in the next couple weeks. So it's great. Will the free bootcamp end before the paid one? That's a complicated question. So I will have released all of the free bootcamp content. Yes. All the free bootcamp content should be released by the end of the year, by December 31st or so. And then I will launch the paid bootcamp on January 6th. So that's going to be the idea here of like where things are going to go. And I think that's going to be the perspective that I would be thinking about. What's your major motivation in life? Creativity, speaking, I don't know, talking out, like just like making sure my voice is heard, and building stuff. I love building. Building's fun. I build every single day. I write code every single day, right? And that's always really fun. That's one of the things that like I have been doing, right? I live in Europe and not sure whether to join the live bootcamp or the already recorded one. Well, that's a good question. I mean, like Europe is tough. The time zone is tough, right? So you can join the yearly subscription is probably a better fit for you if you wanted to do that, right? You can also use that same code, that free bootcamp. So if you use this code, you can also get 25% off the subscription as well. So definitely like Europe is tough. Europe is like the one time zone that is like in the middle of the night, right? That's where that 6 p.m. slot is really good for like LA, but it's really bad for freaking Europe because it's like 2 a.m. in Europe, right? So it's freaking not great. Definitely, I wish it was better, and I wish I like was focusing on more things and I had more people in my company and I could launch all the boot camps so everyone can have a good freaking a good time slot, right? And that like I don't have to freaking worry about that as much. Like, but yeah, it's complicated stuff, very complicated. But yeah, I'm here for another 3 minutes, guys. I can answer probably 2 more questions. Remember, we are going to be launching the Flink content here pretty soon. Hopefully tomorrow. Should be great. Right. Let's go, Bismarck. Join live. Yeah, Dennis. I mean, if you're in Europe, there are some people who are down. Like every time there's like 10 people in Europe who just freaking do the boot camp at 3 a.m. and I'm always like, you guys are freaking unbelievable. Like you guys are like just really, really intense. Like like you guys just like have all the energy, right? And like I freaking can't do that. I'm an old man now. I'm a crusty old man who freaking can't do that, right? Just landed a data integration rolling tips on how to become a winner in the integration field. Focus on business value. Don't just write integrations for the sake of writing integrations. Make sure that integration is actually what you freaking wanted to, right? If you were offered jobs in your big tech previous companies, which would you choose? Only Airbnb. Only Airbnb, right? That's going to be the big thing. Only Airbnb, I'd say. Annual subscription or live bootcamp, key differences. Live bootcamp has mentorship opportunities. Live bootcamp has live speaker sessions where you can talk with industry experts. Annual subscription is self-paced. You get access to the live bootcamp material a month after it's done. So if you buy the annual subscription right now, you'll get access to the live bootcamp material at the beginning of March. Those are the main differences. Does the subscription grant access to the paid bootcamp content? I already signed up for the paid bootcamp. Yeah, but it does like many months later, and it doesn't offer live access to anything. And there's a delay. That's the difference. The price is about the same, anyways. I'm enrolled in the paid bootcamp. We'll try my best to attend live sessions. Great, but can I still do self-paced? Yeah, like if you're in the live bootcamp and like you can watch the videos or attend the live sessions. Either one will get you credit for certification and for mentorship and get you the rewards. Like they both will work great. So yeah, 100%. Like I'm excited. I'm really excited, guys. Like we should have a very awesome, powerful, energetic cohort in January, and it should be a really, really great time. I'm really pumped for it. Any tips how to organize different data domains for easier analytical use and governance? Take my data modeling content. I have like 10 hours of content freaking that will do that. How do you focus day in and day out? Just focus on doing something every day. Provide value every day. Do something. So I think of it as 3 things. Show love to others every day by like making free value. Show love to yourself every day by exercising and eating right and sleeping well, right? And then you have show love to like your community and your friends by hanging out and talking with your family. And if you do those 3 things and you just do those 3 things every day, like show love to your, like your online community, show love to yourself and show love to your friends and family. And you do that every day and like just make a commitment that you're going to spend 1 hour a day on each of those things. You would be freaking very surprised at how far you can get. Is free one necessary before live one? No. There's a lot of people who are just taking the live one. Will paid bootcamper have access to lectures even after the end of the bootcamp? Yeah, you have a year. You'll have it until January 31st of 2026. So you have like 13 months or so of access to the content. Not quite 13 months for like the last lectures because they're yet to be filmed, but like the first lectures you'll have 13 months. How did you learn Gen AI and what DE projects you will be using it? I mean, I have an AI teaching assistant that's in my bootcamp. It's pretty cool. I use vector databases, embeddings, all that kind of stuff. I'm still new. I'm not great at Gen AI. I feel like I'm like 3 out of 10 in that skill, right? So, I mean, it is what it is. But anyways, y'all, thank you so much for showing up to the live today. I'm grateful that y'all are loving the bootcamp. Let's finish strong here. We're going to be releasing the Flink and real-time content tomorrow. And then we will be releasing the analytical patterns sometime early next week. And then that will be all of week 4. And then we will be moving on. And it should be a really good time. I'm excited and really inspired by a lot of y'all's energy. And I hope that y'all have a fantastic holiday and, Merry Christmas. And let's freaking have, let's